At the end of 2019, my lease for my BMW 330 was coming to an end. And suddenly I got an itch to upgrade the out of my car. Normally people go from like a 3 to a 5 to a 7 series, but I was like, I'm just gonna skip all those. I was doing well, but making significantly less than what I do right now. And I'd always wanted a car that stood out. So I was like, hey, this might be my one shot to get a car that makes me really happy. I was pretty set on the Jaguar F-Type actually, but at the very last minute, I started looking at lease deals and I realized that the i8 Roadster leased extremely well. And being the frugal deal hunter that I am, that really appealed to me. I was like, Charlie, just take the leap. Go for it. You technically can't really afford it, but use the car, use it to your advantage, and use it for marketing to build your business. So that's what I did. I went out and found a good deal, got somehow approved for it, and then drove all the way down to San Diego to pick up the car. Going to that dealership and talking to the salesperson, it was really, really weird. Signing all that paperwork was really weird because I'm a frugal person. I've never spent so much money before. And yeah, I was committing to spend over $1,000 per month on a stupid car. The transaction went well. I said goodbye to my old car, and yeah, that was it. I now had a $165,000 BMW i8 Roadster. So yeah, this video is just basically going to be me justifying why I bought this car and why it was one of the best marketing expenses of my life. This video will be about taking uncomfortable leaps, why marketing matters so much, and why going against the advice of your friends and your family might sometimes really pay off. Now, being comfortable is awesome, but the problem with being comfortable is that you're probably not growing as fast as you should be. I'm a big believer that the fastest way to grow is to work on your weak points. And anytime you work on weak points, it's inherently going to be uncomfortable. For me especially, this had to do with public speaking, this had to do with being on camera. So that's why I really gravitated towards doing things like that. It's why I used to do Toastmasters. It's why I started up a YouTube channel. It's why I want to have a podcast sometime in the future. It's all stuff that my average and normal self would probably not want to do. But I don't want to view myself as normal. I want to be able to conquer these fears, work on them so much that I become super good at them. And I know that it's going to be good for my career as well as just for myself as a person. This also applies to maybe getting a promotion or starting a new job or starting a new business. It is uncomfortable and you will have to adjust. We associate risk with being uncomfortable, and that is true. Doing things like starting a business, it's very vulnerable because it definitely gives us the opportunity or chance of failing. And failing is probably the biggest fear for anyone out there. Failure is the best thing that can happen to you. You guys, I've learned so much from my failures. And if I didn't fail at all those businesses, at all those projects I started in high school and college, as well as even after college, then there's no way I would have been able to do what I do now. Failure really is the best thing to seek. And if you don't fail, then you will never succeed. People always say that the most successful people have failed more times than most people have even tried. So really try and adopt that type of mindset in your daily life. Another thing with me was that I was so frugal and uncomfortable with spending money. So what I do? Well, I spent a lot of money on this car. And in the last almost year that I've had this car, all my other spending has gone up, but not in a bad way. I'm more likely to spend on hiring things out. I'm more likely to spend on marketing. These are all things that you have to spend money on in order to grow a business and become wealthy. This car really was a tipping point for me in making me less of a frugal person and making me more of a business-minded person. So yeah, takeaway is don't be afraid to do things that scare you. Chase that fear, chase those failures, and you will be rewarded. So sometimes your family and your friends are gonna think that your ideas are dumb. And yeah, sometimes they might be dumb, but a lot of these dumb ideas might seem dumb on the outside, but on the inside, they might actually be genius. What I'm saying is you need to think it through. If you're gonna make a big purchase or invest a lot of money into one thing, you need to have a game plan for what you're gonna do with it. You just need to make sure that this decision ends up benefiting you and that it doesn't become a mass failure, which even in that case is totally okay. My girlfriend, for example, hated the thought of me getting this car. She said it was like the dumbest thing in the world. My parents were also like, Charlie, that's not a smart move. The only people that liked the idea were my car friends and my entrepreneur friends. So I'll say that about 90% of the feedback I got when I brought up this idea was not good. You have to realize that not everyone is going to have the best perspective on your decisions. One thing you must do is listen more to people that are doing the things you want to do. So let's say if your friends and family aren't entrepreneurs, then they won't have the same type of mindset and they won't have the same type of perspective that you do. If your goal is to, for example, be a corporate manager, then look up to people that do that. They've clearly succeeded, so it's just really, really important to see what they did, all the steps that they took, and then do that in your own life. However, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to start your own business, then look at people who did the same thing. They're gonna think a little bit differently than other people, and they might know better if it's the smart move. I mean, they do mean well, right? They're trying to look out for you. Who knew that this car would generate so much attention and give me more confidence in making more content and then building my YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram followings like this? Even I for sure didn't know if it was gonna work. Most people are thinking getting a nice car, it's just only for the looks, it's only for the fun of driving it, and they don't think about the marketing side of things. This is a really like non-traditional way of thinking. I knew that this car could be way more than that, and that's why I used it so much in all of my marketing and content creation. So one of my first biggest failures in terms of entrepreneurship was my athleisure clothing company called Charge Athletics. I invested over $20,000 into this brand, spent so long getting the designs right, even traveling to China to meet with the factories, and in the end, the brand just completely flopped because I did not focus on one thing, and that was marketing. I decided I would never let that ever happen again. My main takeaway with that business failure was that marketing is so key. Marketing is everything. So when I started up my own real estate brokerage, I was like, hey, what's the best way for me to actually attract attention and get new agents to join the team? A guy I've been following, Albert Preciado, actually really baked this thought into my head where you can use your cars to your advantage. Now for him, he has like 3 different Ferraris, a Rolls Royce, but I was like, I need to get a car that really stands out and that brings me attention and credibility. So for me, this car, the i8 Roadster, was the perfect value for about $1,000, which is only like $500 more than I would have spent anyways on a normal car. I was able to get this, and I got so much attention from this car, and it definitely helped me out with my YouTube channel as well as my TikTok and Instagram. Now I know it sounds weird to say that, like having a car made a big difference, but guys, people love nice cars. It definitely attracts their attention, and if it helps my conversion rate of turning a viewer into a subscriber or follower just by like 10 or 20%, that's already so worth it. A lot of my viral videos include my car in the background, so I would definitely say this is a proven way to stand out and help you create viral videos. Now it's also contributed to helping me get more real estate agents on my team, as well as doing more real estate deals for myself. When I first got the car, I wanted this car to really represent my brokerage, so I actually put on some stickers on both doors that said Core Capital Realty. I also took pictures of the car with the stickers and used those for flyers that I mailed out to people. I even parked it on Newport Boulevard a lot and used it as a free billboard. I've just really internalized the mantra that any attention is good attention. And you guys, I've told this story before, but literally right after I got this car, I was talking to someone who had a podcast. He talked to me about my car and he was like, hey, let's get you on the podcast. So I was on that podcast. It was like maybe 45 minutes long, and from that podcast I got a real estate client who bought a house like maybe 1 or 2 months later, and that instantly paid for the entire 2-year lease duration of this car. So if you think about it, getting this car already paid for itself, and right now I just get to drive this really fun car around for free. I know it's a really bold move, but it is a move that when done right can bring you extremely good results. Take bold marketing moves, do things that let you stand out, and it will pay off. And lastly, you guys, don't be afraid to step into shoes that are bigger than the ones you're currently wearing. It's uncomfortable and it forces you to grow. You know, when I got this car, I was like, I can't make less money than I do now because otherwise I won't be able to afford the payments. So that gives you a little bit of stress, and you're like, okay, I have to increase my income. At the end of the day, if you're a hustler, you'll figure out how to make the money. You're resourceful. You can go online and find different ways of generating income, and you see different opportunities that a lot of people miss. So yeah, giving yourself some real life pressure like this definitely can work. So I am so glad that I spent over $1,000 per month on this car. Totally worth it. Really gave me some stress and some motivation. And I was like, okay, I have to make more money now if I drive a car that looks like this. So in conclusion, you guys, I am not telling you to go out and buy or lease a car that you can't afford. However, I am telling you that sometimes these big risks can pay off, and you never know unless you try. I got lucky with this car, but I had a smart plan all along in using it to generate attention and marketing my personal brand. And yeah, if you don't try, that means you already failed, minus the small amount of money you're investing into whatever you're trying. So go out there, take strategic risks, and don't let people tell you what to do. You'll probably end up surprising yourself. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. The whole point of this channel is to help you guys become a millionaire in the next 5 to 10 years. If you like the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel to see more videos just like this. I make a ton of content about entrepreneurship, personal finance, and investing. So that's it for today. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.